are streaming.
We are?
Yeah.
You hit the record already?
Yeah, I thought we were ready. So where's our Brio? It's not showing. Oh, there.
You have to click on Brio.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure this is.
I wasn't swearing anything.
You weren't. I just clicked it after. I clicked it after. All right, so we'll give it a minute here. It says we're good. And oh, there's Miss Kai. She's always the first one in the chat. She's the first night owl to creep on in here. And I have a pet. I guess we have a new moth friend here.
I'm out of here. See ya. Be right back.
Okay. Let me see if I can get him on the camera. There was I went to check the one door and there was a giant Mothra on the door. So I went to go and pet the moth and now it's on my hand. There's Albert Metelsky, Seth Martin, John Lincoln, Wiki Bobby, Jennifer Delaney. Hey guys. Grandpappy. Wow. Some night owls here. Seth Martin. Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. I'm going to see if this will show up on the camera, but if you can see on the camera, there's Mothra. I caught a baby Mothra. And I think because my hand is warm, it doesn't want to fly away. Probably because it's cold outside. So the moth is just going to chill with me right now. It's not one of those lantern moths, is it? I don't think it is. She's a brown moth. I'm assuming it's a girl. But who knows? Maybe it's a boy. I don't know. He's bigger on screen. Yeah. So yeah, we have a guest star on the show, Mothra. Mothra's just gonna chill right here. You okay, Grim? Grim's mooning the camera.
I'm twerking.
He's twerking.
Like the way you work it.
I was showing a Mothra.
I was showing them my new moves.
Don't let your moth eat your stockings.
Yeah, right.
We have cats. They destroy all the clothes.
That's my job.
Shake, Grim, shake it.
Shake that for me. Shake that for me. Come on now.
Oh, look at that cute little moth face. Oh, they're so cute.
You wait, everybody, till that thing flies up in her face. You'll see a whole different Jan Decay.
No.
Son of a mother!
No.
Oh, yeah.
Not with moths. Not with moths.
I've seen it.
With other bugs, maybe, but not moths.
Why is that thing is dead?
No, it's alive. It's just cold.
You go with a little salt and pepper on it.
They're really cold.
I'm omnivorous.
I don't think bugs can handle the cold very well. So
why? What are you? What do you call that? Bug person?
not normally.
I know. I can't believe you're holding that thing.
Well, they don't hurt anybody.
Was that an entomologist, right?
Yes, I think so.
I was interested in that. I don't know if it pays anything, but I would be. I like bugs.
They are fascinating,
I got
right?
all kinds of them growing in my fur right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I do. I've got
fleas and ticks
multiple
and everything.
things going on. Yes,
Yeah.
everywhere you can imagine. There's like co-ops and sublets, all kinds of stuff going on in my body.
Oh, he's crawling. Mothie's
Warming up.
crawling
Now,
around.
see,
He's warming
right
up.
on time. Here comes Louie.
And there's Louie. So we have two guest stars,
And he's
Louie
hungry.
and the moth.
And he's hungry. Who is Ellen asking for Louie? Well, here's Lou. Come on, Lou. Come on, bud. Let's go, buddy.
Well, there's lots of lights he can fly to.
Lou.
If he wants to go fly. Okay, so we're not here to talk about moths. We're here to talk about our Hairy Scary Hangover show.
Come on, Lou.
And Louie.
Nah, it's all about the peripheral stuff, right?
Mummy, Monkey, Moth, and Louie show, says Mark.
Yeah, we could do that. Come on, bud. Ugh. I don't think sometimes he wants to jump up, sometimes he wants me to pick him up and put him on.
Yeah.
It depends on his energy level, I think. There he is. I told you he would be here for the Hangover. I told you.
Yep, he likes to
I know
hang
my
with
buddy.
us.
He
He didn't like the movie. I don't think Louie likes the movie.
Well, he's a very intelligent cat. See,
yes, he's very smart.
He wants to lay down. He doesn't want treats. Or he wants to lay down. He wants to chill. Mm-hmm. He is the best.
All right. Well, let's do it the intro.
Okay, let's do it. Professionalism.
Yes.
All right. Hey, what's buzzing, y'all? I'm Grim Gory.
And I'm Janet Decay.
And you got your peepers tuned in on to
the Mummy and the Monkeys Harry Scary Hangover.
Oh, we're so hangover. Okay.
Yes.
Not yet. Tomorrow.
Not yet. No.
Working on it though. Yeah.
I've got my little apple drink here.
And I've got some Appleton Estate.
Yeah. So we're both drinking apple drinks. Mm-hmm. Special apple drinks.
So, no, I won't say what it is. Doesn't matter. It's happy stuff.
It's apple juice.
Apple dapple. And I got Louie.
That's all apple juice.
Louie takes me to the moon and back. I love petting on him. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
Look at him. He's always digging the claws in. He likes it.
He's like, pet me more.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is the Harry Scary Hangover, where we talk about just about anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sometimes we talk about the show, but I prefer not to talk about the hangout because the movie was horrible.
We hosted a terrible movie earlier this evening for episode 177 of the Harry Scary Hangout. And the movie was The Beast of Yucca Flats.
Yes, and it was a beast. It was a beast to get through. And we hadn't shown this in over 100 episodes. Well, 100 episodes to the episode.
Yes.
It was our 77th episode. We showed Beast of Yucca. Mm-hmm. And this was our 177th episode of the Harry Scary Hangout. So, yeah, crazy, right? So we decided that would be a nice way to, maybe not.
Exactly 100 shows ago.
I was so wrong.
177. We're getting closer and closer to 200 shows.
We're getting closer and closer to 178.
Yes, we are. In a few weeks.
It's right there. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So this is like our little movie chat, like the after show.
The wind down.
There's lots of comments we can read here, which is great.
We can fart freely without any prop. Don't have to be too professional.
We can talk about some other,
We could let our figurative hair down, if you will, right?
Exactly.
Yes, it's a chill place, man.
David Phillips says, can't wait for next weekend at Cinema Wasteland.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting. It's been, it's the post-COVID shows, and even though, we know what's going on with the pandemic, it's not as bad of a concern as it was. It's not as,
It's not as...
It's still out there, but it's not as virulent, right? So
it's a little more manageable now.
But we have to admit that it's done a lot of damage to get-togethers, unfortunately. And it's always interesting to see. I mean, there was pretty busy last Wasteland.
The April show was really good.
Yeah.
With October, it's a little iffy because a lot of the people that go to those kind of conventions also work for haunted houses. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping, it's a good show, good turnout. But, because it's also haunted house season, sometimes that affects it a little bit. So.
Yeah, so anything that was a social event or a social type of gathering, whether it's sports or conventions or concerts, my heart went out to anyone who had a business that pretty much was, founded on people getting together, ass to elbows, to enjoy themselves. Who didn't love to do that? I mean, I hope those days aren't over.
Well, no, people are still going out and doing things.
Yeah.
It's just, it's different now, a little bit different.
Somewhat, yeah, but it'll
be
another 100 years and we'll have.
There were a lot of people downtown last night for all the sports stuff going on.
Right, we had the Guardians game, and then we had the Browns versus Steelers.
Both teams won.
So,
and people were out and about. I heard from someone earlier today that they went out and it was packed with.
It didn't matter, right?
It did not matter,
and that's the way to beat some of this stuff. After you get, we won't get into the.
We're here to talk about movies and stuff. We're getting to.
I think we're in the upswing of all the craziness that we all had to go through. So, yeah. Anyway, so we're hoping that that these venues. Because it sounds like Horror Hound did pretty well this year. Like it's getting that convention.
Oh, that convention's always escalating. Yeah, so they're a very large convention.
We wish that to anyone that has any sort of venue-based business that they
are you gonna fly away, Mothy?
Have the best season yet to come.
Oh, there's Mothy.
Let it outside.
Well, it's too cold.
All right, Marlon Perkins.
It's too cold for Mothy.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the little creature.
That thing is weird. I mean,
he's pretty.
Get away from me.
They're very pretty. All right, bye, little Mothy. I'll just set you here. There you go. You can walk around on the papers.
Jeez.
Oh, Bye, Mothy.
Did
It
it
flew
fly
away.
Oh, no. Well, now Earl's going to eat it. I told you let it go.
Well, maybe later we'll let him go.
It's
We could keep Earl out of
nice
this room.
knowing you, Mothy.
No, we could keep Earl out of this room.
Doesn't matter. He will find it and he will end it.
Well, the moth was cold and wasn't moving earlier. So now he's warmed up. He's flying around.
Good for it.
Okay. So yeah, we saw some movies recently that we could talk about, and there was one in particular that you said you didn't like.
Halloween season now? We're talking about Halloween?
Of course, always Halloween.
Yes, yes.
The movie we watched, was that on Tubi or was that on Amazon?
Amazon.
Bad Candy?
Because they had, it was Amazon. I believe. Yeah.
So we watched a movie called Bad Candy, and it's on Amazon Prime.
I can't think of the fellow's name, but it was started the guy from Gremlins. That guy. We met him. Paul David something.
Oh, so he made that movie?
He was in it.
He was in it.
He was one of the DJ guys. You didn't recognize him.
I didn't recognize him. No.
He was the kid from Gremlins with Phoebe Cates. Yes, and what?
And what?
I said, Phoebe Cates.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so you like her?
I don't know her, but I liked her in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, okay. So she's from that movie. Yeah. I don't always remember who's
Any Hoozle, but the fella, the actor, someone's gonna know. I can't say, but someone's gonna know who that is. He's in it. He's kind of one of the main guys in the. It's a couple of DJs telling ghost stories, I guess, over the air, and I couldn't follow it. I didn't really care for it. I wouldn't watch it again.
I don't know if I'd watch it again, but what I did see, there were parts of the movie that I liked, and I could tell it was very heavily influenced by the 2007 movie Trick or Treat with the little character Sam.
Much better movie.
Yes, that's an excellent movie.
I can't wait to watch it.
But you could tell that they wanted to do something like it, and it just wasn't. It just didn't deliver. It just wasn't put together as nicely.
And and for the record, I mean, Trick or Treat's a good movie, but it's not the first one to do an anthology movie where everything is connected.
No, and I didn't say it was. I'm saying it was a good movie.
Well,
that's all.
I know that. I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, but it was very entertaining as opposed to this one who tried to do the same thing, I guess. And so that's my point, is that even though Trick or Treat didn't invent that formula, they did it right. Bad Candy did not do it good.
No.
I was lost. I didn't care. I tapped out a few times.
So like Trick or Treat and like other films that do those little like vignettes, it's where they put the shorts together, but then they try to tie it together somehow.
So it's like horror Pulp Fiction, that.
No, not quite.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction did the same exact thing.
Well, no.
But it's not horror.
I'm thinking more like Creep Show and
Creep Show was but Creep Show. Well, some of that stuff was
the horror films where it's like a bunch of short films within the.
It's called anthology.
Yes.
But in Trick or Treat, all of them sort of came together, just like Pulp Fiction, which is a different genre, but it's the same vehicle. It's the same idea that you have all these different things going, but they're all tied together. Doesn't matter. It could be a Western, it could be a horror. It doesn't matter, but it's the same formula, right? But they tried to do it with Bad Candy, and not that good. Again, I don't need to even see it again to understand what I didn't understand. I just didn't care for it. A lot of the kill scenes were just gratuitous and didn't. Some of them, I guess they did try to tie it, but nothing was sort of.
They didn't really explain much.
And I don't need everything explained to me, but.
Well, no, but it needs to make sense. And a lot of it, there were parts of it where it didn't really make sense, or it felt like it was kind of shoehorned in.
Louis knows. He sees the moth, right?
No, that was, I don't know what he was looking at. Maybe the lights or something.
He didn't want to, yeah. Okay, so anyway, so if you want to watch Bad Candy, please do. Let us know what you think.
Some of the monsters I liked in it, and some of the scenes. So in Trick or Treat, like if you don't participate in the Halloween traditions, or if you're not a nice person that doesn't respect the Halloween traditions, Sam will get you. He goes after like the bad people who don't like Halloween.
And this is where we get to the point in Bad Candy where they did something that I thought was very, very, trendy and stupid now, but they did the same thing, but they used a clown.
Oh, clowns, okay.
A demonic clown.
Yeah, there is a demonic clown in it. Instead of the little guy Sam with like the burlap and the pumpkin head, it's like this weird, like kind of like this carnival.
It's just a giant clown with.
It looks like a generic. No, it looks like a generic clown mask. It didn't even look like anything to me.
But so again with the clowns.
Yeah, I'm kind of over clowns. Kind of done with.
To not sound like a
No
newer,
offense to people who like clowns and dress like
No.
clowns. It's just that we've seen it so much in movies
but
recently.
the new Freddy Krueger, I guess, is that Terrorizer clown movie, which I don't get. We saw it. We were sitting there yelling at the TV.
Well,
like,
I liked the character. I liked the look of that clown. What I didn't like the movie cliches in it. I didn't like how predictable and like forcibly dumb it was. So I think if they made the story better and the characters a little bit brighter.
There's nothing to it from our side. It was just a killer clown, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, killer clown and dumb girls running into this creepy building with a clown.
He's looking at me. I better text my friends and tell this crazy clown staring at me. So it's all like technology based, and but I know every movie.
I'm gonna take a selfie with this creepy clown that I'm afraid of.
A-hole, he's staring at me. So I get all that, and I know every movie we liked from the back in the day
doing
has the
all
same,
the things you shouldn't be doing,
and they all have that. I get all that, but it's like, can someone invent something new? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so I wanted to like Band Candy, but it just didn't measure up to how good Trick or Treat is.
But it measured up to his name. It was bad.
So but I think it's worth checking out if you want to see like some of the scenes in it. If you want to see some of the monsters are cool looking.
Lenny was cool.
Lenny was the coolest monster.
And we won't say, you have to watch it to find out. But Lenny was cool.
Yeah, Lenny was the coolest monster in Band Candy.
And they totally, to me, dropped the ball. It's a show about the Bad Candy movie. I thought, now when they started showing that group of guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
One dressed, they were like these like paramilitary guys. I guess they were in Afghanistan or something, and they came back and they were in the States. Now I thought they were going to go somewhere with this, and they didn't do it, which I would have thought. They didn't play to my sensibilities. That's why I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But one guy dressed like Frankenstein, really bad makeup, like, grease paint and like bolts glued to his neck, and horrible, like crappy grease paint makeup. One guy was dressed like a mummy, one guy was dressed like a Dracula, and one guy was didn't have anything on it. I thought he was a werewolf. I think he was.
I'm gonna get the door.
Yeah.
These cats, they like to.
Anyway,
meow.
I thought they dropped the ball on what that could have been. I had a whole idea in my head, like, oh, how cool would that be? And they didn't do it. But Lenny was a part of their group, and I'm not going to say anything more than that. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, Lenny was cool.
But Yeah.
All right, so let's read some comments because we've been,
go ahead. Jawing it up.
Yeah. Just give me Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Thank
Dancing
you.
Godzilla.
Great movie.
Jacon says, I'd rather enjoy Trick or Treat.
It's a great movie.
Cosmos Kramer don't like clowns. A Seinfeld reference. So, don't watch Bad Candy. Like, it's not that good, guys, but I think if you want to see some of the monster scenes, I think it's worth checking out just a little bit, maybe to skim through it. But I didn't think it was that great of a movie, and also it was, like, kind of dragged on a little too long.
It was, like, over
I think they really could have, like, cut some of it a little bit shorter and tightened it up and, like, done a little bit better with it. In my opinion, anyway.
And I try to explain this, and I think a lot of people understand that time isn't an issue. Obviously, I mean, some of us are sitting there binge watching a whole season, which could be 6 to 13 episodes at an hour each. So I don't want to hear about the time thing from everybody.
Well, it's
not talking about you.
It depends on the story. If it has a good story and it moves quick
and
it's entertaining, then it doesn't matter how long the movie is.
I have seen things that were a half hour long that felt like it was an eternity, but it was only half an hour.
But when some things are kind of dragged out too long and the story isn't good and it's not that entertaining, then yes. You realize the time.
There is an art to retaining someone's interest. If your suspension of disbelief and it hits your sensibilities, that's such a powerful tool that some filmmakers get, that some writers get, that some whatever the art is, some dancers, musicians, they get that. They're not all created equal. I mean, it's obvious when you watch these movies. Like I said, there have been movies or things I've watched that were a half hour long and it felt like it was forever. And I couldn't wait for it to end. And things that were, 13 hours long, that I was like, that's it? Where's more? I want more.
Victoria says, am I crazy for thinking Sam was cute? Sam was cute.
With the mask on or off.
I thought he was cute in his own way. I liked
that movie is interesting because
that's a great
I didn't realize that it didn't get a theatrical release.
No, we talked about this last week.
Yeah, it went direct to video.
Yeah,
right?
we talked about that last week or maybe the week before for Halloween news.
Because they were releasing it to the.
They're going to have it in select movie theaters.
I want to go see that
in October. It never had a theatrical.
Let's go.
Well, we'll have to see if it's somewhere nearby.
So we can tell people to turn their cell phones off. Let's do it. Hey, we just saw the David Bowie movie.
Yeah, we'll talk. What was I going to say before that?
About theatrical release.
But yeah, it was a straight to video movie, and it picked up like a cult following.
That's a shame because it's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
So we go. And
we finally go into a movie theater after maybe.
We haven't been in forever.
After maybe almost 3 years of not going into a movie theater.
Right now.
And what movie did we see? We saw the David Bowie.
David Bowie, yeah,
Moonage Daydream.
My biggest thing is not talking is bad enough in the movie, but the MF that has to have their freaking cell phone, and there's that. I'm all riled up.
Calm down, Griffin. Don't say anything dumb.
There's a mode you can put your phone on. I guess it's a low light mode. I don't want to see any light. No light. Low light, bright light. Nothing. I'm here to watch that stream.
The thing is, they have signs posted everywhere. They have a thing that plays before the movie starts saying
to turn everything off and
turn your
shut up.
phone off.
And shut up.
And shut up.
Right.
Yeah.
You're an adult. Hopefully, and if you're not, we're here to tell you to act like an adult. Just for an hour and a half.
So if you're in a movie theater, turn your phone off and shut up.
What did you pay $20 to sit here for?
Why the hell are you in the movie theater with your phone? Just to scroll on your phone for 2 hours. So you could do that at home without bothering other people.
Absolutely. So we go to this thing, and it's not a sold out show, right? You had to go pick your seats online.
You have to reserve your seats.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's like one of those movie theaters where the seats recline.
It was an IMAX thing.
Yeah, it was an IMAX theater. Yeah.
So we sit down, and again, there's a lot of room between people.
Yeah, it was very spacious. So if you didn't want to sit in your assigned seat, there was room where you can move around or space out so you're not sitting right next to someone.
But initially when you're sitting, but you got to be careful because when you do that, if you move, there's a chance that you could be sitting, because you know that's...
But only half the place was filled up, so there was plenty of room.
But you didn't check this.
Yeah, but there was plenty of room.
I'm not talking about that.
Anyway.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that if you dare to move, you have to be ready to get up and move again, because if the movie literally starts at 8:20, and the movie starts and everything's coming out, they're coming in then. Oh, we just got here. So you gotta always, just because you're there early doesn't mean that everyone's there when you are.
No.
I'm not talking about you. Okay. I'm saying in general. So we sit down in our assigned seats, and kid comes in. Must have been about, I'd say, God, the kid couldn't be more than 20. He was like maybe 18. Sits down right next to you.
Right next to me.
There are seats next to me.
There's all these empty seats.
The seat he bought was right next to you, and then nothing next to him.
Well, it's probably the seat that he reserved.
That's fine.
So maybe in his mind he's thinking, I have to sit here.
That's fine. So, and what's the first thing he does?
Whips out the phone.
Whips out the phone.
Whips out the phone.
And turns it on and leaves it on in that low light setting.
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God. You looked at me like I'm like, I know. I want to kill him too. I'm like, I tell people all the time.
We actually moved like 2 rows back. We wanted to be away from the other people.
People probably, oh, he's just, overacting. No. Every time I go to the movie,
every single time, there's always some dummy on their phone.
In my eye shot. And because,
every single time.
So I'll sit there and a point that goes on and my eye goes, boom. What's that? Not over there, not over there. There might be behind me, but I can't see behind me. But there's just always that one in my field of vision.
Yes, there's always one.
And I'm like, now I have to say something.
That's why we haven't gone to a movie theater in 3 years. Oh, so when the movie theaters are like, oh, attendance is low, maybe it's because you need to get rid of the cell phone people.
If you're in the movie theater and you're in your car, phone off, period.
Yeah.
There's nothing that important. I don't care if it's
I had my phone silenced and I had it put away in my purse. So I physically could not reach for it. It was packed away.
Where are you? I'm here. Where are you? You know there's nothing going on.
So put it away in your pocket or something and just stop. Don't look at it. You're there.
LOL.
If you're paying $15 for a movie ticket
and $20 for popcorn,
you're there to go and see the movie.
Escape for an hour and a half.
Right. It's just for an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever.
Oh my God, the rant.
So there's our rant.
Oh my God.
And we're gonna read the comments. We're sorry.
Go ahead.
There's our rant. So I'm hearing that this was a bad experience for
No.
you. No,
We
no.
moved.
No, so we moved 2 rows back, and then we really enjoyed the movie, and I love David Bowie. I'm a huge David Bowie fan.
It was great. It was an amazing movie.
It was amazing on IMAX. It was really great.
It was an amazing movie. We waited almost till the previews were over, because if the movie starts at 8, you know what that means. It starts at
a half an
8:30.
hour of ads.
Yeah, of all the horse ass that they
trailers
have,
and everything,
and app and games and all that crap.
All that malarkey.
So now they do this thing. Goes, hey, pull your phone out now, play this game. But when it's done, put it away. They try to get it out of people's system. I guess I don't know.
No.
But there's no D-pics. I mean, what am I looking at?
Stop it, girl.
I have to know what's going on with my friends.
Stop it. Okay, let's read some comments.
I am here. LOL.
Insane Jay says, speaking of theater releases, the Jeepers Creepers reboot just came out with limited release. I read it was pretty horrible. Yeah,
Don't go see that. Don't support it.
I'm not going to support the Jeepers Creepers franchise or the person who made those movies.
Because of the...
If you read about what happened behind the scenes...
Yeah. With the director.
The director did some very terrible things in his personal life.
Things that get killed in prison.
Yes, he did some very terrible things. So I can't,
Yeah.
even though I liked the first 2 Jeepers Creepers movies, I cannot support that.
That whole thing aside, I didn't see the magic of those
Knowing
movies.
later on that director did some terrible things,
which just helps me not even care about it more, because I didn't like it. You liked it, and you were like, "Oh, it's so great." I'm like, "What, the rip-off Predator mouth guy? Okay, that's good." It's not that original of a monster. It lives in a cornfield or whatever, and it kills kids, and so what? It listens to old 20s records on a phonograph when he sews up bodies. Oh, that's creepy. Whatever.
Well, I remember when I saw the first one in theaters, I really liked it. But again, that was before I knew what that director was doing.
To quote In Living Colors, Men on Film, hated it. I never liked it and I saw it in the movie theater. I did not
Travis
like it.
says, I'm going to bed. Good night, Travis.
No, not yet. We're not done ranting.
They're tired of hearing us complain. I was blown away by the experience of Moonage Daydream, says Kirk Harrington. Yes.
Yeah,
it's such a wonderful film.
Yeah, I didn't know much about Bowie. Bowie's sort of in my...
Well, you were more of a Prince fan.
I'm more of a Hendrix, Prince,
Hendrix,
Eddie Van Halen, and Smashing Pumpkins. Those are my top 4, and Billie Holiday, my top 5. But David Bowie's an artist. It was amazing. He was literally... I dabble in a lot of different stuff too, art and music and things like that. So I understand what where he's coming from. This guy was the real deal. I mean,
yeah,
he was a tour de force.
Greg says he's seeing a celebrating David Bowie concert in October. This isn't what we saw. Wasn't really like a concert. It was kind of like.
Did you know what that is about? He's talking about.
It was like it's like a tribute show.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
That sounds cool too. But this was more like kind of like a documentary, but kind of psychedelic. Kind of trippy, but it was like all these recordings and like video that I guess was never released before.
Right, it was all
and when you hear him talking, it's kind of like there's parts of it that are kind of chilling because he's been dead for 6 years.
I felt like there was...
So you feel like it's a ghost talking to you.
There was so much more... I mean, they kind of just gave you the little bits, and this guy never had... He was like a vagabond. I didn't know that.
He traveled everywhere.
He said he never had property until he was in his 50s. He never owned anything, like a home or anything. He lived in different countries for periods of time, absorbed experiences, and then would write music based on that and things like that.
And did a lot of art. I didn't realize how much painting and
he kept private. He didn't want to share
drawings he did. Yeah, he didn't share a lot of his art.
No. And so again, and I love that as someone that is involved in the arts like myself. I understand where he's coming from, and I mean, it was beautiful to see this guy who just did it because even if he never got famous, he would still live that lifestyle. He would be wandering around.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's amazing to me. And he thought at some point, most of his life, he didn't think he had room for love. Then he meets one of the most beautiful women in the world.
And when he does finally decide to be with someone and marry or whatever, he's with one of the top supermodels of the world.
He does it right.
Iman, she's gorgeous.
That's my man.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Anyway. What? I mean, not me, but
Okay. And people are saying, like someone saw, I think it was Connie said that they saw him in the Serious Moonlight tour.
Serious
I wish I
Moonlight.
could have seen him when he was alive. I never
Jeez.
got to see Bowie live.
Hey, that reminds me, when we find these old newspapers, remember the ones I found from Cleveland, these old Cleveland newspapers from the late 70s, and like David Bowie in concert at the Coliseum. Tickets $8 in advance, nine at the door. Ooh.
Yeah, in the we saw
Can
those
you
ads from the
imagine?
70s, and it's like, wow.
How many people were bitching back then? $9, man. To see Bowie, man, it's too much.
And now to see a show, it's like $200.
Oh my god! Yeah, well, any show. Like
Albert says, "How is the music in the movie, guys?"
Oh my
well, it's his music, so it's good.
There's versions, there's concert versions of stuff, and there's that one. I think I believe it's the Us Festival. You know, it might have been that or Live Aid, but I think it was Us Festival. That's when he performed. A lot of people, but they don't tell you. That's the thing, is they don't tell you.
They don't tell you what festival.
When they show that sea of people, that's literally. I mean, it's you sit there and go, oh my god, people talk about Ace to E's. I mean, people were just like on top of each other, like a sea of them. It must have been 70,000 people. It was insane. And his little David Bowie.
Yeah, I liked the footage they showed of some of the fans from like the 70s, when they interviewed like the teenagers that were like dressed like him and wearing the makeup and stuff.
They had the Ziggy Stardust rainbow back, the lightning bolt on their eye.
And I love that it was like,
They're just losing their S over him.
It's so fun.
He's fantastic.
It's so great.
Yeah, I mean, he touched a lot of people, and I was never a big Bowie like own everything.
Well, and I didn't become a Bowie fan till later because.
But I know his music. I loved him in the '80s. I grew up in I loved his '80s things, his stuff, But I love his '70s stuff even. Probably I like his '80s stuff more, but I love his '70s stuff.
Ziggy.
Yeah, that was more experimental, but then he got more pop
stuff. Yeah.
But his pop stuff in the '80s was tight. I mean,
everyone
fun. Loved him.
It was fun.
Everyone loved the new Bowie release.
Oh, well, I like all the different forms.
Modern Love, one of my favorite songs of all time.
The only album that I can't listen to is his last one.
Black Star.
Black Star, right before he passed.
I found that in the thrift store, I think, and gave it to you. You're like, you listened to it and you got real sad.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't listen to this.
Because it was all about
I tried and I thought of getting it, and then I decided not to, and then you found it. And I'm like, it's too sad.
It was. We both listened to it like, ooh, this is.
That's the only one I can't listen to all the way. It's like way too sad.
We drive around a car going, oof.
Yeah, it's real heavy.
Pull over, oof.
And then we watched, let's see. If you guys watched any cool movies, put it in the comments below and we'll read it.
We'll make fun of them.
And then, Greg says Bowie's first American concert was in Cleveland.
No kidding.
That's cool.
Really?
Wow.
At the Agora, probably.
Probably the Agora.
Jeez.
What was I gonna say now? Oh, we watched another movie yesterday or the day before. Movie? Dirty Harry.
I was just play it up.
You're dirty and hairy.
We watched a dirty movie.
A very dirty movie.
And it's not about me. It's a Dirty Harry movie.
Which Dirty Harry movie was it?
The Enforcer.
Because I don't think I ever saw those. And I watched that one with you the other day.
That's the one with the it was the third Dirty Harry movie, which I believe was The Enforcer. I think it was. Yeah, The Enforcer. And that's where it was about like this group of militants that were they're basically like the Die Hard thing, right? Where there's a bunch of crooks, but they call themselves militants, and they have these fake agendas, but all they really do was to kidnap people and get money from them. And it was a pretty simple script. It had Tyne Daly as his female partner, as Clint Eastwood's female. And you ever seen any of the Clint Eastwood, the Dirty Harry?
No, I've seen a lot of the westerns Clint Eastwood was in, but I never saw
the old westerns. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw the Dirty Harry films.
They're good. Again, they have that '70s sort of that weird sort of nothing's ever super polished.
It's kind of like it's kind of raw, kind of like.
That they have, but because you
like you could look at the people's faces in some of those '70s movies. It's like
but the storytelling was was kind of loosey, but it was a little
I thought it was decent.
You could follow it.
For a '70s cop movie, I thought it was decent, and I like Clint Eastwood.
But you watch those Dirty Harry movies he was the one that started all the one-liners. Magnificent. He would say these one-liner things that were
He was like the
that's
smart.
Mighty white of you.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing these things now.
Yeah.
Since then, but he was king of the one-liners. But his reaction to everything was like 0 to 60. He didn't like anything.
Yeah, but like people like when you look at some of those 70s movies, people just seem to look more natural. Like even the
Natural.
actresses, like you could tell it
Everyone looked
was
hot
you
when
could
they
tell it was before Botox and the collagen, like the fake lips and
Oh
everything.
gosh,
And
there was every blemish, every like
yeah, you would see blemishes.
flaw.
You
Yeah.
would see like if they're a little sweaty or their face is a little
Yeah.
oily or something.
In the 70s.
But they still looked good. It was just more of a natural look.
But Clint Eastwood was still one of my favorite actors. You know, when it comes to the versatility that he brought.
Yeah.
But his westerns are still the best. Even the Unforgiven and stuff he did later, I thought was really good too. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I want to watch the rest of those at some
The
point.
first one's
I
great.
want to see more Clint Eastwood
They're
films.
very gritty,
Tubi had a lot of them.
They had they had two of them. They had that one and the second one.
Yeah.
With the corrupt cops.
I thought they had some other ones, but not
sudden. They have Sudden Impact and the Enforcer.
Okay.
That Tubi has.
So let's see. I'm trying to see where people are. There's a ton of comments.
Oh,
here.
come on, let's read some. It's interactive, right?
Clerks 3 went to the theater.
Was it good?
Was it good, Seth? Did you like Clerks 3?
I love the first two.
And then Kirk says, I watched the movie Cowgirls versus Pterodactyls.
Ooh.
It was weird. Cowgirls versus Pterodactyls. Was Clint Eastwood in that one?
That would be great. We did watch Time Babes.
Oh yeah, we did watch Time Babes. That movie was funny.
It was better than
better than the Beast of Yucca Flats.
Yeah, and I think even better than Bad Candy.
Yeah.
It's
better than Bad Candy. Yeah.
I enjoyed
Time Babes was some cheesy movie. It's I think Full Moon released it. It came out in 1993. It's on Tubi right now.
It seemed like
It's like these people from the future have to go back in time to the 1990s to try to prevent something from
they said everybody in the year 2019 and from were test tube babies. Sex was outlawed.
Yeah, they banned sexual relations.
Should I don't know, you're gonna try to comment and make something funny about
there's
that
there's a lot of
the big star in it.
There's a lot of nudity in it.
It's a jiggle movie, right?
It's a TNA kind of movie. It's a cheesy, just goofy movie.
It stars my girlfriend, my wife, Morgan Fairchild. Morgan Fairchild's in it. She's the big star.
Yes.
No one else. You don't.
I think all their budget went into hiring her.
Except for what's his name was in there.
What's his name?
The guy from Plan 9 that used to Conrad.
Oh, Conrad Brooks. Yes, I forgot he was in that.
There you go.
So, yeah, he was the janitor. Again, he plays all these little bit parts, but he's a likable guy.
Yes.
So yeah, Conrad Brooks is in that movie.
Which was funny because as we were watching the movie in the beginning, the teacher I thought reminded me a little bit of the guy from Plan 9, the head of the aliens. What plan are we using now? Plan 9. Oh, Plan 9. To reanimate the dead of the, that guy was hilarious.
Yeah.
The teacher, and then we find out at the end, Conrad Book. I was like, really? It's kind of a weird.
So it kind of has like Ed Wood vibes, but Ed
Wood's a genius.
Ed Wood's better, but this
movie was so bad, but
not as
fun
bad.
Yeah,
it was bad, but in kind of a fun, cheesy way.
And they have a fake Terminator guy, like a Schwarzenegger dude, running around, doing the Terminator, coming from the future to find these two dummies that
the future kids or whatever.
Of course, they land in a girl's dormitory, and they have to stop the headmistress, who's gonna ruin sex for everybody forever.
It's really.
You sit there and go, who wrote this? Who greenlighted this? Who greenlit it? Who paid for it? It's just amazing. I can't get a loan, I can't,
Mark says, I saw a limited series on Netflix called The Devil in Ohio. So I wonder if that one's good. Did you like it, Mark?
I like better than.
And what is it about? What's this? I'm interested to know. Who is the Devil in Ohio?
Is it anything like the Wild Whites of West Virginia?
Oh gosh!
Oh my
gosh!
I watched that last night.
Oh
my god!
So that's a documentary we watched. We're all over the place with the movies we're watching. So horror films, Halloween films, a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah,
David Bowie movie.
My new YouTube obsession, and I can't think of the name of these guys, but I think if you Google Metalhead's 1989 or 1980s videos, there's these guys out there who, when they were kids, they were metalheads, right? They had the long hair, like Beavis and Butthead type of thing. They had the long hair, handmade, homemade shirts where they wrote like, death or macabre, skulls.
Yeah.
And they videotaped themselves just running around their neighborhood in the late 80s. And they had all these tapes. Now they're older now, balding and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because they got a YouTube channel together. And they put together all these, they just uploaded all their stuff that they taped as kids. And as resellers or fans, they're like in this one cool thing is they're at this record shop in 1989.
Yeah.
And these kids, there's a rack of Metallica shirts and rock and roll black T-shirts with, oh my God, $10 a piece. I mean, right now those things are worth hundreds of dollars. But they're just going through them like, look at this one.
Well,
whoa.
and you would buy that and then wear it out until it was...
Master of Puppets, man.
Yeah.
But these
people
kids
loved their metal shirts, their rock shirts.
But they're funny because these kids, they bop around, they go to this like corner store, they buy Coca-Cola and Bubblicious, for a few $1, but it's funny because they've archived all this stuff, and perfect thing for YouTube fodder. So when we get the name, we'll share it. But I'm gonna start watching.
Oh, you forgot the name of it?
I can't think of the name, the guy, but I bookmarked it, so I subscribe to their channel. So we'll have to.
So you talked it up, and now we don't have their.
But if you look up. If you just go to YouTube, look up Metalhead videos, Kid Metalhead, 1989 or something like that.
Okay, so Mark Sanny says that The Devil in Ohio was about a strange cult. Oh. Well done, in my humble opinion.
Kirkland, where at in Ohio?
I don't know.
Well,
just about a cult of The Devil in Ohio. Yeah, that's been out. A lot of people have been talking about that one actually. So I'll remember.
Ohio. He was looking for some soul seed.
No.
He was in a bind.
Maybe Southern Ohio, maybe in like...
I don't know.
There's a lot of like middle of nowhere towns in Ohio.
I think I dated a lot of devils in Cleveland.
In Ohio?
They had some, bad breath.
Naoko says she loves David Bowie. Hey, Naoko.
How could you not? I mean, they showed some Japanese footage too with him in Japan. He was huge everywhere. I mean, especially in like other countries, obviously huge in America. But they had some footage of when he was touring in Japan. Oh yeah. The fans were just like nuts about him.
They played some interview footage. He was interviewed for like a television station over there.
Oh yeah, the Japanese.
It was
announcer,
for some. Yeah. It was, and they had like a translator.
And
there.
he said he loved that culture. He loved the Japanese culture. In this movie, he mentioned how he wanted to go over there and live a little bit. He must have. I'm sure.
Yeah. So he stayed there for a while.
I would love to go there, just like this. You gotta make it.
Probably.
There's some rockabilly guys over there.
Mark says, would love to see a Cleveland once again air your type of program. Well, not just our type. It'd be great if they could air our programs, but it would.
Who said it?
Mark said that. It'd be great, like pretty much if we were on Cleveland TV. Technically, we're on TV now. You're watching us on your TV.
The Mummy and the Monkey are open for any type of negotiations and sort of television, syndication deals.
All different media outlets, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the indie route now, right? We're inside ICP doing it, and we're doing our own thing.
Yeah, we're not opposed to television. No. It's just,
It has to be the right.
It would have to be something that would work for us and
not
work
to get too,
for them too.
And not to get too boring with it, but a lot of it, you'd be surprised what you have to give up when you do something like that. I mean, there are a lot of YouTubers. It doesn't even matter what they're doing on YouTube, whether it's unboxing videos or reselling videos or
podcasting,
it doesn't matter.
Or vlogs or whatever.
Yeah. Having their own store somewhere that sells whatever. They are approached by lots of different TV and media outlets, but the deals we've seen them comment and say they wanted to do it, but we would lose all the rights to our material. We couldn't sell anything associated with the show. We would get this like base sort of deal, and they would do, well, this could take you other places.
Well,
but what do you own of us?
And then the stations could also try to take your characters.
There's so many things, and you have to have the right lawyers. A lot of YouTubers have turned down, I don't want to say major deals, but any sort of
we know some personally who have turned down television deals because it wasn't the right deal for them.
Right. I mean,
and they're not against television. It's just that particular offer work for them.
So right now we would be happy to try to boost our YouTube presence and because that's what YouTube, that's what the internet, whether it's YouTube or other platforms, lets a content creator do. Create their own content within.
And here we are on TV.
Yeah.
A lot of people watch YouTube on their television.
You just direct that signal to that oblong box wherever it is in your house.
Okay.
And we're on TV.
Well, we don't need to do the tech support angle of it.
But I'm saying,
I think at this point, I hope most people can figure it out and watch it on their TV.
But I'm just saying, but technically, you're watching us. You're watching anything you want on the same TV that you watch a network television program without the commercials.
Yeah,
that's nice, right?
Well, with minimal ads, a lot of the ads that we have on our YouTube, you can skip.
Yeah, as opposed to some other programs that are out there, and it's like maybe at least 40 to 50% ads.
Where every 5 minutes there's a commercial.
It's commercials, you know, and the rest of it's the program, and very little of the actual hosts. But again, I would take a deal like that as long as I'm living in the lap of luxury, but it ain't happened yet.
So, Albert Metelsky, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Oh, you still get a barber papa even this late.
All right, let's read some more comments.
Yes, please.
Kirk says Mr. Sushi is a restaurant and they have an amazing menu. Oh, okay.
I miss sushi. We need more sushi.
I guess Kirk and Naoko are talking about sushi.
Oh my God! We should get some sushi. You know where from?
Yes.
Not Giant Eagle.
The only thing I watch on TV is Svengoolie, says Victoria. So that's the only syndicated show that she watches.
Keep watching.
Yeah. Yeah, we like Me TV.
Of course.
We like Sven. We like
that guy.
Creature Features. There's a good example. They're on YouTube.
Svengoolie is the epitome,
and they do very well on YouTube.
Is the epitome of a horror host because the original Svengoolie was Jerry something. I forget his name, but he started it, and then Rich Coase was a young kid, loves Svengoolie, a fan of the genre, a fan of that show, and wrote in and said, "Hey, I want to write some scripts for you." As a kid, okay, he was a teenager. At the time, the station couldn't get anybody to do anything, and this kid showed interest, and he was probably a pretty good, showed some promise, and they go, well, they probably paid him barely nothing, and it didn't matter. He was, he was very, ambitious, just like Ron Swede, who got a hold of Ghoulardi back in Cleveland, and became an apprentice. That's
Jerry Bishop says SpongeBob Hemp.
Jerry Bishop, I remember the first name.
Pants.
Jerry Bishop, and but basically Rich Coase used his talent as a comedic writer to write for the show, and it became the character that he wrote for. Amazing. Yeah. Like Ron Swede in Cleveland did the same thing with Ghoulardi.
Yep, Ron Swede, the Ghoul. Yep. Yeah, he worked with Ghoulardi.
Because Rich Coase originally was the son of Svengoolie.
Big Chuck worked with Ghoulardi.
Yep.
And then later on hosted the show.
Big Chuck pretty much formed the Ghoulardi show.
He did the editing and everything.
Well, and he suggested a lot of the
tech stuff.
The technical stuff and sound effects, all that stuff was Chuck's idea.
Yep.
From what I understand. But anyway, but so huge props to Rich Coase and huge props to the Svengoolie show. That's the epitome of the horror host show, the modern horror host show.
All right,
we're working on it.
Let's talk about, what else have we seen recently? Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Tubi also has the Scooby-Doo Mysteries cartoon from the 80s.
Scooby-Doo.
With the different monsters. There was one called like the Red Skull or something.
That's Captain America.
Well, no, there was a Red Skull character in the cartoon.
I'll get you, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And it has Scrappy-Doo.
Oh.
Scrappy-Doo I got annoyed with after a while. But I watched some old episodes of the Scooby-Doo Mysteries.
They try to punch up the Scooby-Doo franchise, or the character in the 80s with a new character for the kids,
Yeah.
But you had enough with this. The 60s Scooby-Doo stuff, the Hanna-Barbera stuff was amazing. The 80s stuff was okay. We tolerated it.
Hey, I like the 80s stuff.
Yeah, rainy.
But yeah, I was just happy to see like old cartoons on Tubi. I'm like, they have Scooby-Doo. So I sat and watched a couple episodes.
True fact, I used to work for a greeting card company here in Cleveland, and I got to do the voice of Scooby-Doo in a car. I don't have a card.
Auditioned for it?
No, I did the actual recording.
Did they actually pick you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They said, we don't have to pay these voiceover guys. We got a guy that'll do it for $1, because when you work for this place, if you did any kind of voice work, or modeling work, they have to pay you $1 just to pay you. But it was basically free for them. So I went in and I did a bunch of, it was for a Valentine's card, I think it was. I don't have the card. Maybe I can find it. I wouldn't even know what to look for anymore. It was been years. But yeah, I got to do Looby Dooby Doo.
Nice.
Yep.
I remember you did the voicing
I was in
for
the
it, but I didn't
studio.
know they actually picked you.
Well, they had a recording.
that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
They had a little studio in the place, and they had the mics and the text, and we had to do. They had Warner Brothers on the phone telling me, "Well, try to do it a little more like this, and maybe make it a more blah."
Oh, Warner Brothers on Scooby Doo?
Yeah, WB baby.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that
Working
they
with
bought
the
up
man.
all those cartoons.
No, Warner Brothers. It was Hanna-Barbera. Well, yeah. Well, Hanna-Barbera was an animation company, and then Warner Brothers distributed all that. You know, the distributor.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know all the red.
Red Rag Baggy, Red It Baby, and Red Rory.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. We're good now on the Scooby.
What can you? What impressions can you do?
None. Betty Boop, maybe.
Yeah, you can do that. Do it.
Nah, I'm good.
Come on, man.
Nah, it's okay. Maybe next time.
No, that means never. Yeah, I hear that all the time. How can we do this? Maybe next time.
Grim has missed his calling, says Kirk. He thinks you do good voices.
No, I haven't. Like I said, I make a living doing a lot of stuff.
You do a lot of other creative
Yeah.
things.
I do. Oh, that really hurts too. I do Cliff.
Naoko says Svengoolie was the first horror host that she saw on Reddit a long time ago, 6 to 8 years ago.
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
he's out there. A lot of people love him.
That's great.
Can't deny the legends, right? You got to respect them 100%.
Insane Jay, I just watched the Flintstones meet Count Rockula and Frankenstein with my kids. Love that classic Hanna-Barbera stuff. Yes. That is
Hanna-Barbera, I think, might be my favorite animation studio.
And what's great is they made so many different characters. I think they were just kind of throwing everything at the wall to see what stuck. And I think Scooby-Doo was the most popular out of all of them.
More than Disney, I think I like Hanna-Barbera.
They made a ton of different characters.
Well, I just like, the variety is interesting. It's so wacky. And there's so much stuff I forget. And every now and then, I'll run across something and go, oh my God, I love it. And it's Hanna-Barbera. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I mean, they had Captain Caveman. I mean, the Wacky Races. Jeez.
Johnny Quest was good too.
Johnny Quest. I mean,
I love Johnny Quest.
You just can't. I mean, the list goes on and freaking on. It's just too much. It's beautiful. Beautiful, man.
Yeah, I love Johnny Quest.
Frankenstein Jr., which I didn't watch as a kid because it was a little bit before me, but man, that one I
so
cute.
Into. I love all those cartoons.
It's interesting. Yeah, there's so much.
So cute.
Hair Bear Bunch. You don't know that one.
No, that one I don't know. See, there's some obscure ones that I haven't seen.
Groovy Ghoulies might be Filmation, who did He-Man. I think that's who Groovy Ghoulies is.
Oh, Naoko says Mummy and the Monkey was the second host I have seen.
What? That's pretty good company.
Thank you, Naoko. Wow. We're happy to be number 2.
Number 2's not bad as long as number 3's worse.
Yeah, number 3 would be worse. I don't know what number 3 was.
That's 1 and 2 put together.
The Flintstones meet the Frankenstones.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That was like I think that was like a Munster or a Addams Family, maybe.
That I don't know.
Frankenstones, I think, were an Addams Family sort of rip off that the Flintstones did. I think and that wasn't Munsters. It was Addams Family. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Connie Cleary likes the Hillbilly Bears.
Oh yes.
And Wiki Bobby likes Hong Kong Phooey.
Hong Kong. I got the plush upstairs. I got the plush Hong Kong Phooey. One of my favorite. The Scatman Carruthers. There's so much, so Squibbly Diddly, Magilla Gorilla, the hippopotamus, hairy hippopotamus.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Top Cat.
The indisputable leader of the gang.
I like Top Cat. He was cute.
Oh my God, Secret Squirrel. I mean.
Penelope Pitstop.
Yeah, that was Wacky Races. Yes.
Yeah.
And the dog was this. The one. I can't do the laugh.
Yeah, I can't do that voice.
That's the one laugh I wish I could do. I can't do it. You have to have that wheezy voice.
Baby Huey.
Although, when it comes to voices, Mel Blanc was the master. Right?
Oh, he was the best with voices.
But that was a Warner. That's Warner Brothers.
See, we could just do a whole. We could do a whole podcast about cartoons.
Please, in my sleep, I could do that.
Space Ghost. I love Space Ghost.
Oh, you got Hanna-Barbera.
But you know what I love more than Space Ghost? In the 90s, when Cartoon Network did the spoof of it, it was Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah, I never watched that.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's amazing.
There's a talk show. Right?
It was more like a talk show, and it was a little more on the adult side with adult humor.
I need to check that out.
But it was
sounds hilarious.
Oh, it's so funny. And they would do like little goofy songs and stuff.
See, they did something interesting because what they did was they took all these. They did C-Lab, which was another takeoff.
I love C-Lab.
It was a takeoff of Johnny Quest and all that stuff. They got it, and then Venture Brothers.
Venture Brothers. I love the Venture Brothers.
See,
they did all like these parodies of those existing
But see, that's
shows.
how you reboot stuff. You don't remake it. You take it and do something totally weird with it.
Yeah, Cartoon Network did some really goofy, funny stuff in the 90s using like
parody, but it's so perfectly done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't say no to that.
I want to go back and watch those.
Yeah, I don't know what we have on deck, but we could probably look it up.
Maybe for Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, I'd love to. Some Fruity Pebbles and some cartoons. Oh, I'm in heaven.
So, well, speaking of Saturday morning, it's technically Saturday morning now, and it's almost 1 a.m. now. So I think we're going to wrap this up soon because we need to get some rest.
You do. I don't.
We need to get some rest because we're going to check out a sale in the morning.
Yeah.
And we wanted to watch cartoons.
That's right. So, wow.
So, Ren and Stimpy. I love Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I mean, they did it right. I mean,
and actually, I'm Facebook friends with the guy who was the voice of Powdered Toast Man for season 1. He got canned after season 2, or after season 1, I should say. But yeah, nice guy. And really funny, weird, bizarre cartoon.
Yeah,
I love Ren and Stimpy.
That took animation to a whole different level.
My mom calls them Ren and Stinky.
Was that Spumco?
I think so.
Was the I think it's Spumco.
Not
Funko, Spumco.
Yeah. Space Angel says Mo.
Space Angel was a 60s cartoon. That was like Clutch Cargo-y, you know.
Okay.
But still good stuff.
Cool.
All right, everybody.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. Good night, good fright, good morning, whatever, good afternoon. And stay safe out there. Thank you again.
That's right. We'll see you next time here on the Harry Scary Hangover.